Fuse Networks Did You Know segment. So the Fuse tip of the day. IT management is only a part of what Fuse Networks offers. Here's 4 reasons to choose Fuse Networks. 2 words: cost savings, security. Network security is a complicated thing. Improved performance, out-of-date technology can be holding your business back. And the Fuse Networks team will always be available to you. Schedule your free assessment now. Visit Fuse Networks online. So our first did you know bit, this myth: you can live a stress-free life. So we have a stress expert here. That's what we strive to do. But talk to us about that.
So a lot of times when I do my coaching or my speaking, a lot of times people are like, oh, I want to live stress-free. That's their goal. And I always try to say in the beginning, well, I'm here to break your heart because that's not a thing. Stress-free isn't a thing. Can you lower your stress? Can you change your perception of stress? 100%.
Mm-hmm.
Can I give you no stress at all? No, because this is not how life is. I can't predict the future. So I can't give you every tool to deal with everything, right? We don't know what's going to happen as soon as we get off this phone call. We don't know, what's going to happen now. If emergencies happen, we don't know, right? So for me, those reactions are going to be different. So knowing that I can help you with your perception, I can help lower your stress, I can help with your responses and lowering your reaction, but I can't take it completely away.
Awesome. So what do you say to those people that like everything always bad happens to me? They look at the glass as, oh, it's half empty. Geez, like nothing just works. Like everything happens wrong. What do you say to those people? Because it seems like when you engage with those people, they try to bring you down too. They're trying to influence you in a negative way. Mm-hmm. How do you deal with that? Because when I deal with it, I just try to get away. But is there something we should be doing, or those people like that?
They're for sure, right? Because that's their mindset and that's their belief, right? That's how they perceive their life in the sense of, I'm not saying look at your life in rainbows and butterflies. I'm not saying everything's gonna be great. I'm always in a great mood. I'm never stressed. It's not a thing. But when you see those persons that are always bringing you down, so in different situations, so we can talk about in the sense of my clients, right? So if I have a client that's like, well, that doesn't work. That doesn't work. Okay, great. What did you find that does work? So I always talk about asking questions and getting curious with that person, right? Because it's very easy for us to become defensive and be like, well, they just don't understand me. And they're right. They're just negative Nancy. And we're just going to shut them off. Maybe always be curious. Why didn't that work? Why don't you like that tactic? Why do you not like that person on TikTok? Why do you not? I don't know why I keep saying TikTok today. Sorry. It just now it's like stuck in my brain. Right. So ask questions. Maybe it's a movie and you're like, oh my God, I really love this movie. It's my favorite movie. And they're like, that's the dumbest movie. That person's a horrible actor. Okay, negative Nancy. Why are they a horrible actor? Enlighten me. Let me learn. So I now, not that you're going to change my opinion. It's not what you're doing. I'm just learning.
Right. All stress is bad for you.
Right. And so this is the trick. A lot of times when I talk to people, and I bring this one up because when I talk to people like, well, I'm not stressed. I'm not stressed. And a lot of times when we think about stress, it's the very high overreactor, aggressive, right? But that's not all that stress is, right? Stress is different levels. There's acute stress where, maybe I spilled the hot coffee and now I have to make another one. And that's really annoying. Or maybe my dog barked in the background while I'm on a podcast and that's really annoying. But there's also good stressors. And how are we actually looking at that? And so when I talk about stress, I talk about it as change, which means growth, right? Mm-hmm. So I grew when I started my business. I grew when I had a baby. We can all talk about how these are stressful situations, but when we change our perception, we can really talk about how there's growth within it, which shows positivity.
So when you coach your clients or different businesses, is there like a daily exercise that you tell clients to do to help manage this? Because I would assume some people are on different levels of when they manage stress, like the littlest things bother them, like the situation I asked you, or some people who just everything's all right and they don't show that they're stressful. Like, is there something that everyone could do to kind of, get to center kind of thing?
Yeah, of course. So that's kind of where that drink the coffee while the hot kind of comes in, is learning how to set time for yourself. So that 1 to 5 minutes, because like you just said, what's going to bother me and bother you to be completely different, but also our reactions, responses are going to be different. But this is the thing, we don't take time to recognize how we are responding and reacting. We just keep moving through the day. We keep ignoring maybe how we responded. Maybe it was aggressively. Maybe it was, like you said, I just pushed it down and I'm ignoring it. We don't really take that time. So if I would say it this way, if I took all the bills were paid, the children are taken care of, all the emails are completely sent, everything's done, and I gave you 5 minutes to do whatever you wanted, what would that be? Right. And so really taking that time to go, oh, well, I would maybe take a walk, or maybe I would
Mhm.
open that book that I never did. So it's kind of creating that awareness around what that would be for you.
Awesome. Joe, you want to read this one, please?
Sure. On average, you have about 60,000 thoughts a day, 80% of which are negative.
So just, do the math really quick. So I like to bring this one up because a lot of times when people think about sitting by themselves, they're like, well, I don't want to sit with my thoughts. There's no way I'm going to sit there and listen to all these thoughts. But the other piece of this is you kind of talked about that negative Nancy in the sense of, if I'm always thinking negative, if I'm always talking down to myself, if I'm always thinking I'm ugly, I'm not a good podcast host, or I'm not good at my business, I'm not a good dad, I'm whatever, I'm going to act on those. I'm going to believe them. So kind of painting that picture of, on average, there's about, it says 12 to 60,000, but I like to just highlight the 60,000 because I also like to have people raise their hand going, who thinks they have more than 60,000?
That's a lot.
Right? It's a lot of thoughts. So, and if you think about, if 80% of those are negative, that's a lot of time we're beating up on ourselves. It's a lot of time, right?
Yeah, it's 48,000 over 12,000, right?
Thank you. Yeah, exactly. It's about 48,000. So, so think about that. That's a lot. That's a lot of negative thoughts. And so I like to point that out because that's what's dictating our life and how we're acting throughout the day. So when we take that time to talk to ourselves, to take that time to make time for ourselves, it's having going, okay, what was I thinking during that situation? If I got in an argument with my significant other, or I read that email and automatically wanted to click away and go, let me tell you, what kind of conversation am I having with myself in that moment?